honey, welcome back. Oh my gosh. So I'm just getting home from work not too long ago. And I just had to come on here and tell you guys this story because it happened last night and so many people need to know. All right? It has to do with my neighborhood, neighbors and such. Okay, so let me give you the backdrop of everything. So we have an HOA here, right? Homeowners Association. And if you have one of those, you know that sometimes they're a little aggressively annoying. Anyway, so if there's something going on, usually the HOA is right on it, right? They'll be like knocking on your door like, oh, can you clean the leaves out of your gutter? You know, they're going to come at you if you have anything going on, right? But I feel like they've been slipping on this one house. So let me tell you, I'm going to go in with the Prelusion base from Divina Cosmetics. And I think I'm just going to, what am I going to do? Let me just put it all over and then, obviously, you're not in my head, so you don't know what I'm thinking or talking about. Anyway, so next to me is a friend. We became friends like a while ago. We realized that we had both worked at the same university while we've been neighbors, didn't even know. Then there's a person next to her. And basically, there was one time where the electricity went out. We were all outside. We exchanged numbers and blah, blah. And then next to me is a little family. And their little kids are always talking to me. And they be on my lawn. Having their toys on my lawn. And a while ago, there was someone. He and his family moved. But that was Big Joe. Okay? Big Joe. We were cool. He would look out for me. Blah, blah, blah. All right. And then there's a guy. Anyway, so there is a house right over there. Like I'm pointing over there. Okay. And so I can see it like this. And my friend, she can see it straight on. Okay. So now we used to see the same people coming in and out of there, right? The same family. And they had this little tiny badass little dog. One of those dogs you could put in like your handbag, like a tote. Anyway. So, you know, would say hi. There were a couple times where I saw like an ambulance over there. And so me being nosy, I had gone over and been like, hey, you know, is everything okay? I've seen a couple ambulances over there. I'm very much Miss Bonita from In Living Color. Do y'all remember her? The little nosy neighbor that knew all the tea. So, you know, they were like, oh yeah, just, I forget what it was, but something happened. I'm messing around too much. This is not even happening right. Okay, I'm gonna take this off and start over. I'm busy telling the story rather than doing my makeup. Okay, so that house, right? One day I come home and I see this red like notice on her door, on the person's door who had a little badass dog. And so I'm nosy and I want to know what it's a red paper. Okay. I need to know what's happening. Cause your house is right there. Is there anything going on that's going to affect me? That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So I get out my car and I go up to their door and I read the notice and I like snap a picture of it because I want to send it to my neighbor. And so it was something like a city ordinance or something. I don't even know what was going on. But we both had our eyes on that house for like a couple days, right? And so then I see the lady come back. And so I'm like, hey, neighbor. I don't know her name just yet. So I find out her name. I'm like, what's going on? And she apparently had accidentally started a fire. And it just like fire spread real quick, right? So I think the kitchen, the living room, everything was just kind of destroyed, right? But I also know that she was doing a little catering business out of her house, and I don't think you're supposed to do that. Far be it from me to tell you how to make your money. Anyway, so now I'm gonna use the paint base from Colored Rain. Put this on here. Okay, so anyway. So she was like that they had to stay somewhere like an extended stay place for like 6 months, 6 to 8 months or something. So you would see people going in and out, like, you know, like putting down new carpet and just all kinds of stuff to just renovate and fix it or whatever, right? So then at some point, you know, it's a couple months done gone by, I see her move back in there. But I only see her. I don't see her husband. I don't see nobody else. That doesn't mean that they weren't there, but she's the only one that I see. And I'm like, hey, girl, like, it's good to see you back, blah, blah, blah. Cut to, like, a couple weeks later, she ain't there no more. She not there. I don't see her car. I don't hear her. Because she was loud and fun. I don't hear her. I don't see anyone or anything. But then all of a sudden, there is a family like moving in just out of nowhere. There wasn't a like for sale sign or anything, so I'm guessing they're renters, right? But there was no kind of sign, so maybe they're like friends of the family. But they move in there. But when I tell you, there has been a different family in there like every couple of weeks. I kid you not. At most like a month or two. I mean, it could be longer, but whatever. And, you know, you could tell it's like different families because it's like different stuff. There's different kids' toys, like, and there's different people going in and out. I'm just like, I'm confused. I'm like, who lives there? Okay. Because like I said, I think most of the people we've lived here for a while. Some people have lived here for a long while. And I've lived here for a while. So you know who live here, right? So... okay, that's that context, okay? The other part, did I talk, what have I talked about? I don't know. Okay, but there are big dumpsters, right? That you can dump your trash into, and then the trash truck comes around, garbage truck comes on Tuesdays and Fridays or something, right? Now, we get all these messages from the, like, people, and it's like, do not put bulk items in or near the dumpster. So, you know, people, you know, you buy things, you got a new TV, or you got a couch, blah, blah, blah. You're not supposed to leave it right there. You're supposed to wait until they have the bulk trash day or whatever. I don't even know how often it is, but basically they'll bring in one of those huge, like, things, like, remember from, like, Hoarders and stuff, they would have the big thing, and that's when you can put all your stuff in there and they will go ahead and take it away. Now, if you want to do it before then you've got to do it yourself. You got to take it away yourself, right? But, you know, mostly they're like, just wait until this comes, blah, blah. People don't listen. People do not listen, okay? So you always see bulk items up over there. People do not listen. So this past weekend, I'm going to go into, I have these Cliona shadows. I've used this one a lot, and it's interesting because I had it on in New York when Tracy and I went there, and we went to Sephora, and so many of the Sephora associates were like, what eyeshadow is that? And I'm like, you don't sell it here. It's Cliona. Anyway. I'm going to try to stay away from it and go in this one maybe, or even this one. Anyway, so, what was I saying? You're not supposed to put the bulk trash there, right? Like, people just don't respect things. So sometimes you've got trash bags like hanging out. Like, it's like that's not how we live over here. Like, I'm going to need y'all to get it together. And they send these messages out all the time, right? So we're going to sidetrack a little bit. Remember there was the red sign on the door before, right? So the other day, a couple of weeks ago, I see another sign on the door. And it's white. It's like a white paper. So I decide I'm going to park close over there. And I'm going to go look at the sign. Okay? So I go up to the sign and it's in Spanish. Who knows Spanish? And so I was like, oh, okay, let me read this. So it was from the management. You know, and you could kind of tell that they used Google Translate, which is totally fine. So basically it was saying something about, basically stop putting your items, trash, whatever, on your little porch part. And then when I went back there, I don't know why, the note was gone. Okay, it was gone. Anyway, so this weekend, like, one of the neighbors, I don't know, one of the neighbors right to the side, they were, I don't know if they were moving things. It was just a lot of commotion going on, and like those trolleys or dollies. They like had stuff on there, and then they were taking stuff out and putting them in the trash, in the dumpster. And then as the day and the weekend went by, more and more stuff gets piled up over there. I'm like, what's happening? It was real clear for quite some time. This is also the place where, like, videos and videos ago, months ago, I talked about that big old, like, human-sized stuffed bear, red bear with no eyes. This is where it was, okay? Somebody needs to get their dog together. So all this stuff is piled up over there. It looks like TVs, like couches, lamps, all kinds of stuff, and it is rather unsightly, okay? So yesterday, I text my neighbor, and I was like, girl, do you see all that trash out there? And she was like, yeah, it's ridiculous. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and contact, like, the HOA people, because they steady telling me what to do with my house. So I'm gonna need them to figure this out, right? So I'm bopping around the house, and I'm trying to get myself ready to go to bed. And I'm like, well, as soon as I just chill out, I'm gonna email them, because, you know, like, I email them quite a bit, okay? There are just things that happen, and I want them to know, and I want them to fix it, okay? Where my HOA fees going. So it's like 9 something, almost 10 at night. And I just hear this like crashing and like banging. And I'm like, is somebody moving in right now? Like, what are they doing? It's so late at night. I mean, it's not like super late, but it's late to be moving. And like, what are the quiet hours? So I just keep hearing it. And after a while, I'm like, let me go look out my window. I'm gonna look out the window that Rose always looking at. You know, she like to survey the community. So I'm looking, and I see this item just go flying and hitting the door of the neighbor neighbor over there, where it's somebody different every other day. Something hit the door, and I'm like, what the? And I look, and there is a man, and he is going to pick up stuff from the dumpster, and he's throwing it at their door. So I'm like, gasp, right? Like, what's happening? And so I text my neighbor, and I'm like, girl, there is somebody out there throwing stuff at those people's door. And she was like, what? Let me go look. And so she looks out her window, and she's like, okay, that guy lives 2 doors down from you. He's in the house 2 doors down from you, and he's always upset about the dumpster and the way people treat it. Y'all. So I'm like, now I have context. Because first, I don't even think I looked out the window first. I think I looked on my Ring app. I went on the live view. Because I'm like, what's going on over here, right? Do we need to stop, drop, and roll or something? I don't know what's happening. But I need to protect me, my home, and my cat. So I'm watching. Listen, I'm watching for a while. And so I text my friend, and I'm like, should we call somebody? Like, should we call, like, the non-emergency number or something? Like, what do we do? Because, honey, he was grabbing everything that he could from that dumpster and throwing it at these people's door, okay? So I look out, and he's a little older white man. He's probably, like, in his mid-60s. I don't know. He seemed real strong. But he had on, like, a fedora and some pajamas and a long robe. So when I tell you, this man must have been pissed to come outside in his robe. Anyway, so he is literally going back and forth. And I am sitting there getting my entire life. I'm minding everybody's business but my own. So you see me, I'm like, this is the windowsill, right? I'm like this. I'm just looking. And I turn the bedroom lights off. I turn off the air conditioning, and I turn off the air purifier or humidifier or whatever, because I couldn't hear exactly what was happening. So I turn all that off. I go downstairs also. I'm trying to get like every advantage of what I'm seeing. And I am steady like voice, I'm like calling my sister. I'm like on Marco Polo talking to Erica and Jen. They asleep. And I'm like, so this is what's happening, y'all. Like, if, you know, like, those, like, hunters in the wild, and they're like, there's the tiger, and now it's moving. That was me. I'm like, so now he going back and forth, and he, like, picked up the couch, and he, like, threw it at the door, right? So And then I'm like turning my phone down because I don't want him to see the light from the phone, right? Because I'm in his eye line of sight, whatever. I'm in there, okay? I think I will now use the Pause palette from Menagerie. I'm kind of thinking, I'm wondering if I can sort of blend the blue and the green. I don't want to like muddy it and make it gross. Actually, this is a pretty color. I might put this green sort of continuing here, and then I'll add the mattes. So this is Canada. So I'm just going to use the same brush I was using, and this is the Danessa Myricks and my Kitco number 26. So what was I saying? Okay, so I'm just watching, right? And then I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm not calling nobody. First of all, for certain people, we take a step and a breath and back, right? Before we call law enforcement. So I'm like, you know, I ain't gonna call nobody because I understand where he's coming from. Listen, we all get real pissed at all this trash that people be putting here. And it's obvious that it's that house, okay? I know it's that house because I'm nosy and I saw when the people delivered that couch. Like, so, like, we all know that it's that house, right? When I tell you this man made so many trips back and forth, and he wasn't laying stuff down gently. He was throwing it at the door. And so my sister was like, well, is anybody in there? And I was like, nah, girl, if you had somebody throwing stuff at your door, wouldn't like a light come on or something? The whole house is dark, but there's a light on like in the living room. And so I could see into it, right? There ain't nobody there. It is completely cleaned out. I don't even know when these people left. Anyway, so apparently somebody called the police. So I don't know how it is where you live, but in Maryland, they be sending like 2-3 cars out on one call. Listen, I have stories. Anyway, so the police come and you just see the lights flashing, right? And I don't have a good advantage to see because I have a tree right there and it's just blocking. So I can't see what's going on. But the police like get out their car and they go up to him and you just hear him like yelling like, I'm just so tired of this. They always have stuff here, blah, blah. And the police are like, sir, you can't be doing that. You can't be taking stuff and throwing it at these people's door. You cannot do that. And he is pissed. When I tell you, and I was there like, first of all, I was like, should I go out there? Like, should I go out there and like help him? Does he need like a torchlight? You know what I mean? Like, cause some of this stuff is also heavy. Like, does he need like somebody on the other side to lift? And my sister was like, please stay in the house. And I was like, you're right. But if I had a bra on and if I had less sense, I would have been right out there helping him, okay? With no shame. And I would have been right there like, yeah, they just be leaving stuff out here trying to bring down the property value and blah, blah, blah. And look at all this. Listen, there were like two like love seats out there. Like, I mean, some people might have wanted to pick some stuff up, but I don't know. They don't really be doing that out here. So anyway, they tell him that he has to move everything back. So he like walks back over and he's like, them MFing assholes, like that bitch. And I was like, is he calling me a bitch? Does he see me? Because I'm right in his line of sight. And, you know, I don't know if my phone was real bright and, you know, and before I turned the bedroom lights off, I don't know. I'm wondering who he's talking about. So this man has to carry each piece that he threw at these people's door. And he had to carry it back, put it back by the dumpster. Y'all, the emotions that were radiating off of this man, like I could feel them in my soul because it's so late at night. I don't know if he was waiting for the cover of darkness, but what I think happened was that he sat there in his house looking out his window, looking at the dumpster. And I think he was like, I'm tired. I'm tired of this. Okay? If nobody's gonna do anything about it, I'm gonna do something about it. Because, y'all, he had on pajamas and a long robe and had the nerve to have a hat on. So he was looking real dapper, right? This man, I could feel how mad he was. Because it's like, it was so late at night that it's like, why didn't you do this in the day? Like, you knew somebody was going to call the police. He had no shame. He was throwing this stuff at the door, and it was just like, boom, boom, boom. And they're like, I'm like, you must be like weightlifting or something. How do you carry? Like, you got to carry it across the parking lot, and then you have to still throw it at the door. Y'all, I don't know this man's name, but I really want to meet him. I really, really want to. Because I just want to be like, sir, I understand completely. And if you'd have come knock on my door, I would have helped you. And I would be like, I ain't the one who called the police. I considered it. Because it seemed real strange that you were out there doing all this. But I didn't. So then, like, I guess he finishes, and so there were 2 police cars, or like trucks, okay? I'm like, how many people y'all gotta bring for this little old man? Anyway, so one of the police cars leaves, and, oh, should I use a lighter? Maybe I use the lighter blue. So 2 of the police cars leave, and one just sits there, and I think they're sitting there making sure that he, puts everything back. So, you know, I'm just relaxing. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch until he finishes. You know, I feel like I'm just providing moral support for his actions. So he finishes, and the police are just kind of, I don't know if they gave him a ticket. I don't even know if they did anything. But they were talking to him, and they're like, sir, you know, you can't do that. And he's like really upset, and you hear the police officer like, so I'm not gonna, what just happened? Oh, that's like Fallout. They're like, sir, I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, you just can't do that stuff here. So he puts everything back, right? And then, so a couple months ago, because you have to get context again. A couple months ago, there was this like letter that went out about, an email that went out about getting your new parking pass, or like having a pass for the neighborhood, because that's how they do it in DC and Maryland. Like, you have to have a certain sticker to say that you can park different places. Now, the first time I thought that they mailed it to me and I put it on my car, and then you have an extra one, right? But then all of a sudden I get a sticker on my car, and it says, this must be, you must have this, your parking permit or whatever, or else your car is gonna be towed. If you just looked all through all the cars, there's just orange stickers on everybody's car. So I'm pissed, because I'm like, the nerve of you to put a sticker on my car. You couldn't just slip a little like piece of paper under the wiper, or you couldn't come to my door like y'all like to do all the time. So of course I emailed them to complain about them using a sticker, and I was like, I've lived here for so long and I've never experienced this, pulling out my entire Karen. So I hurry up and I get my my parking permit, but there's one like SUV over here. It's the orange car, and it had one of those orange stickers on there, but it isn't there anymore, and I don't see them being towed. The other thing is, all 4 of their tires are flat. It has been parked there forever, and all I know is the HOA is always like, you can't have any inoperable vehicles on the property. But this person called, how you gonna come to my house and tell me that I need to clean my gutters, but you see this car here for months and months and months, and you haven't towed it? Anyway, so once, I feel like the older guy is like named James, like someone who goes by Jim though. I don't know, he's just giving me those vibes. So Mr. Jim, he's done, and now he's like, and this car hasn't been moved in months, and I'm like, yeah, but then he got over to my car, and around like, hold on, Mr. James. Like, let me put on some slippers and come out there, because what you doing? But he was like, and this car's been sitting here and it has all this stuff in it. And I'm sitting there like, not my car, it ain't. I think he just, oh, that's what happened. I like gouged one of the shades out. When did I even do that? I don't know. But I know what car he's talking about, but maybe in the dark it looked like mine. But I'm sitting there like, I know you bet not have them police officers looking at my car. Don't you dare. Don't you dare, sir. Like, I was with you until you started acting a fool trying to get them to do something to my car. But, so the officer, like, looked at the license and everything for that SUV, but he didn't pay no attention to my car. I was like, thank you. Don't start none, won't be none, Mr. James. So, the moral of the story is I need to go to the HOA meeting, okay? I need to go to the HOA meeting because I want to know all of the tea, because I know Mr. James gonna be at that HOA meeting. I know he is. Now, I'm trying to like orchestrate some kind of way to meet him. He's 2 doors down. I know which car he drives and everything. And I just want to be like, sir, I totally support your actions. And I want to support you at the HOA meeting. I'm going to show up to that HOA meeting with some popcorn because I already know Mr. Jim is going to be coming hard for these people. And I am just thrilled, okay? Like, I am so thrilled. I cannot wait. I can't wait. I want to go, you know what? I'm going to be like, yeah, I'll be seeing the trash up over there too. I don't know why y'all have the nerves to come up to my house, tell me to do something with my tree, but you got this car right here, and you also had these people throwing their trash over by the dumpster. I'm trying to understand why I'm being singled out. You know, of course I'm going to turn it into something about me. Why not? But y'all, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I should try to become like friends with Mr. James. And let me know if you think I should go to that HOA meeting. I know I'm gonna go. I know because they be starting at like 6:45, and that feels like such an odd time to start a meeting to me. But listen, whatever day it is, I'm gonna make sure my dinner is prepared. I'm gonna make sure that Rose is like fed and watered, and I'm gonna be there. Let me finish everything up. So here's the finished look. I'm literally not going anywhere but in the shower to take this off. Just a little fine. Just a little fine. So here's the finished look. I'm not going anywhere. So this was just like to have some fun. So I hope that some of this was helpful, and I also hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. I need you to let me know if you are encouraging or discouraging me from going to that HOA meeting. And also, what do you think about me trying to like orchestrate some sort of bumping into Mr. James and becoming his bestie? Let me know what you think. I would love it if you liked the video, and I would love it even more if you subscribe to the channel. Plus, you gotta know what happens next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.